We have 2 seconds. It's just loading now.
Yeah, no problems.
We have 2 seconds. It's just loading now. Yeah, no problems.
All right. We good to go, Josh?
Just give me 1 second. I'm embedding the link in the page so people can join. But
Sounds good.
yes, 30 seconds. Yes, we are updated on the webpage and we are live streaming, so we are good to go.
And we're recording?
Excellent.
I mean, it's I'm not recording, but it's on YouTube, so it would live on YouTube and infamy. I mean, I can't
All
record
right.
it in the cloud, but
Mm,
I think it's necessary.
AI is doing notes.
it is. Okay, it's 7:04. Let's kick this off. My name is Stuart Daniels. I am the president of Triangle Recreational Campground. Today we are doing a board meeting on Tuesday, the 31st of March, 2026. As part of this, I would like to start off with doing our call to order and then a roll call. Myself, obviously, is here. Mike Thompson, Vice President of Operations. Gary Greenwall, Vice President of Development. Charlie Hill has been excused, who is the Vice President of Marketing. Craig Mannard, who is Vice President of Member Relations. Josh Nye, our wonderful treasurer. Gail, I swear you need to take me over to your place and just teach me how to say your last name. Every time I do it, I tongue tie. Can you correctly pronounce it for me so I don't make this mistake all the time?
Seffler.
Seffler. Right.
Seffler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gail Seffler is our secretary. Simon Andrew, I do believe I saw you. There we are. Excellent. Board member Lawrence Cummings is also here. AJ is not currently with us. Michael Farris is here. Danny will be running late, but she said that she will be along soon if she can make the meeting. And of course, Brandon Weston as well is also joining us today. Let's kick this off today. I'd like to first of all start off by adoption of the agenda that has been circulated by our secretary today. For those in favor of adopting the agenda, please raise your right hand. 8, 9. 9 with myself abstaining, and Gail, I'm going to go with abstaining at the moment. But the motion passes, so the agenda is adopted. First up today, resignations and appointments. Dana Williams has submitted his resignation as committee chair on March 17th, 2026 for the chair of communications committee. Currently, there is no replacement there. Mike Thompson, however, will be providing updates as that comes along. Moving on from here, we have the executive board of director reports. Kicking that off, I will start off with my report. So right now, I have no announcements. I am still waiting to hear back from our lawyer about progress in relation to being able to hopefully get some funds back on the fence from our contractor that unfortunately passed away halfway through. So that will be ongoing. And then from there, I am also starting an investigation onto different email and office platforms that we can look at, which I will be presenting to the next board meeting after a review of, I will be presenting to the next board meeting, but I'll be sending all the documentation beforehand to the board to review and to ask any questions if they want. This is just preliminary work right now, looking into potentially replacing Zoho Mail and consolidating our documentation, communications under one roof. With that being said, I'm going to hand over now to Mike Thompson, the Vice President of Operations, who has been ridiculously hard at work with a hell of a lot of volunteers getting the campground ready for us. Mike.
It's true. We were really busy and they did really well too. So I submitted an email to all of you. That was my operations report dated March 30th, 2026. I'm just going to go over it briefly for the high points. So 2026 season schedule and utility services. So our opening dates are set to follow as it has in years past. April 17th for soft opening, and we're shooting for May 15th for regular opening. The dates could change depending on how the work goes and how the weather is. Potable water startup commences this week. Don't expect to have drinkable water at least for a couple of weeks because we have some testing we've got to do, and if there's anything wrong with the system prior to this, then we have to repair it before that comes up. So we could have water as soon as a week and a half from now, but it's wouldn't expect it for another couple of weeks. That should put us in line with soft opening, so there should be water online then. Power, I'm not sure yet. It's going to most likely be after soft opening when there's some more people on the ground to help us lay the power system out, get everything going. Storm damage from the last big winter storm. Also sent this out in emails before. Norma Jean took a big hit on her backside top, and it completely caved the roof in, and she is not recoverable. Bare Necessities has damage to the roof from a branch that punctured it at the end of the season. We did cover it and take care of it so that it wouldn't cause any more damage. There's some question about whether or not the value of the trailer or what we could get out of it would be worth what we would have to spend to fix it. But those are conversations that we still need to have. Communication and network asset recovery. I talked to you guys at email again. I've been busy, sorry. About collecting network equipment from Dana. He did send me an email as of last night around midnight, and I've sent him one back. I haven't heard back from him yet, but he is communicating with me. So I'm going to try to get somebody that's close to him, either Gary or Jeff Shields or somebody that's right there to just stop in and pick up the gear from him and then bring it up to camp. So that's where we're at with that. And then an arborist will be in the grounds this week. I'm meeting him tomorrow around 3. He's going to look around and give me a quote for what it would cost to have him check everything out and give us an idea of what our forestry plan should be going forward. That's not that he's not going to do the service that day, but as soon as I get that date, I will let ecology know so that they can attend, and then also trees. And then after that, we plan to have the fallers on to take care of the professional trees that we can't fall that we marked for safety trees last year. And when we have those people on the grounds, nobody else can be on the grounds. And we've got trees falling out of the sky, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. So it shouldn't be a very long time, maybe a day or two that they're on the grounds, hopefully. So the neighbor, I talked to the neighbor this weekend, and he did come over and he helped us by bringing this big log tractor over and moving a whole bunch of logs that fell in front of the lower driveway. And so I just, for the service of moving them, we just offered them the trees. So they cleaned it all up for us and got it all opened up. So we now have access to the lower campground. And then, let's see. That takes me into volunteers. We had our first volunteer weekend and everybody worked their heart out. we had two huge trees. One come down to the lower gated, and one came off of Bob's site right by his kitchen and laid across the second access road and across 500 where we all eat. And
Wow.
the team got it all bucked up. We got it all split up, and we got it all up the hill. And my plan is to stack it on the outside ring and parts of the ring where the parking is up there, where it won't interfere with parking, but at least you'll get direct sunlight most of the summer. And hopefully, here in 12 to 18 months, we'll have about 5, 6 cords of wood to be able to sell off that. And then we stored the Lamborghini and the generator at Charlie Hill's mother's house over the winter. And to pay her back for that, I'm going to provide her with lawn care services a few times over the summer. So we're just going to do kind of an in-kind with her. But I would like to consider the board maybe, buying her like a token gift and sending her a letter saying thank you. She's a feisty lady, but she gave us secure storage and she's willing to keep doing it. So I thought we might want to send a thank you.
Craig, is that something you could? Sorry to interrupt, just really quickly. Craig, is that something you could take care of as part of member relations with Mike's help? You're muted.
Yeah, I think we can take care of that. That's kind of over in the care committee stuff. So Millie, I think that's probably in your end of the world. So yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Perfect.
Start a
Thank you.
file.
Thank you, Millie.
Start a file. Mhm.
Just quickly, Danny is now joined as well. Mike, sorry for the interruption. If you would
Yep.
like to continue.
No problem. So I've talked with Charlie, and we are going to move the bar around to make the flow of the party site better. It's going to get placed. It's back up against the green conics. I've got that in the works to get the guy up here after we fall trees, and there's not going to be any trees in the way to do that. I audited our tools, and we're missing some things we're going to need to take care of the campground over the year. I did budget for it, and I'm going to buy them over time as I can, so that we're not putting strain on our budget. I did buy a leaf blower because we are completely missing a good backpack leaf blower, so I did spend some of the budget on that after talking to Josh and making sure that we had the money to spend on it. And then I think that's it for right now. Does anybody have any questions for me right now?
No, I think Millie had his hand up. Oh, and Craig. Sorry, Millie first.
So, where does Craig's mom live? Mike, you're already doing so much. I think we should get volunteers to help take care of her yard. I don't think it should have to be you.
Oh, you mean Charlie's?
Charlie's mom, yeah.
Well, I think it's because she knows me, so it's fine. I mean, we can work on that. I'm not worried about it, so I don't mind going over it. She's got a big riding lawnmower like a tractor. It doesn't take too long to do her job. So an
Isn't
hour
she
or two.
more in this area than like?
She's a Smoky Point. So, but I appreciate it.
Maybe
Oh, there was
Excellent.
one. I'm sorry, there was one last thing that I did have to add, and I'm sorry that I just forgot about it. Volunteer weekend, we fed the volunteers to the tune of $231. So just so you know, we are budgeted for that stuff for volunteers this year.
Okay.
My question,
Great.
yeah, my question was simply regarding the hardware equipment returning from Dana. I guess because the way the agenda is phrased, it says it's describing it as missing equipment. And in fact, it really is, we know where the equipment is, and for certainty, we're saying that Dana plans to give it back to us. Obviously, there's not a serious issue or concern, is there?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no serious concern right now. He's communicating. That's really all we need. We just need to facilitate a time to get the equipment up, because the new network that we paid for last year can't go up until the equipment comes in. And I have a bunch of network people that are chomping at the bit to get together and get this stuff done. So,
Sweet. Anything else, Greg?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Excellent. Mike, anything else today?
I don't think I have anything unless anybody has any more questions. We're going to be doing some more volunteering time coming up here, and the volunteer committee will be getting dates and times out. I'm not planning anything directly for this weekend coming up, but if people want to come up and volunteer this weekend, or if you have time to come up and volunteer this weekend, whether the board or members, that would be great. There's plenty of stuff to do. So
I
One,
would like to thank you, Mike, for your report, and I think that would be awesome if we had a regular report from like that from the other VPs in advance of the meeting. It's very helpful.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And let's kick it along to Gary, VP of Development. What do you got going on, Gary?
Hello, everybody. Well, okay, so we are working on bringing the lower campground in compliance to the CUP. It's temporarily on hold until we get more of the storm damage taken care of, but we will be removing the two connexes, and we're gonna get signage to put along areas in the NGPA areas to prevent illegal camping. We're working on different options to gain more tent spots because, like I mentioned before, we will lose a few because of the camping in the illegal areas. So we are going to create about 3 sites or 3. Well, actually, we're going to redo the 3 sites in site 11, 3 tent sites in site 11, and we're going to open up, excuse me, about 4 tent spots behind site 10 and some other areas that we can find to open up some sites. We're also looking at doing a more efficient way of tent camping in the overflow to try to get that a little bit more efficient. People just sort of went wherever they wanted to. So we think that we can gain some more tent spots there if we use it a little bit more efficiently. I think the count last year was about 45 tent spots that were in overflow on some of the large weekends. We're hoping to get maybe 4 or 5 more tent spots in that area. We're also looking at developing some more tent spaces in the upper campground. We talked about maybe doing a call out to semi-permanent sites to host tent campers, do some tent spots in a couple, or at least one of the abandoned semi-permanents. I think Cloud 9, I believe, is open. So we're looking into possibly using that for tent camping. And then we're also looking at long range, doing some development around the Carpenter cabin in the upper 40, which brings me to the selective logging that we're going to do around the Carpenter cabin. We do have a logging company that we selected. We're going to do a kind of a site review with them and take a look at potential areas that we can open up and develop for tent camping. The logging company will build or restore the roads that are there that we could use for parking, for more parking. And moving on to the main generator. So we're looking at hiring a consultant to advise us on options for upgrading the generator. We're probably going to have to establish maybe a 2 to 4 year plan of doing the upgrades. I'm in the process of looking at different consultants to come in and give us some thoughts about what we can do. That'll be after the generator is up and running. So we're also establishing a fundraiser for the main party site. We're looking at creating some signage to promote it and QR codes that could go into a fund where people can donate, and other promotional materials like maybe some table tents and other things to start developing a fund, a long range fund for the party site. I'm also working on creating a committee to start reviewing this semi-permanent boundaries. That's going to be probably a 2 or 3 year process. And then we're also looking at Site 500 upgrades. We're working on a committee to take a look at different options for upgrading the kitchen area, maybe a food truck trailer or other options. And then, of course, the other structures that would be over the eating areas. A side note is Winston has evidently purchased a new tent for the gazebo, and he's donated the old tent to 500. And Steve's working on the best way to use that. So thank you, Winston, on that. Other projects that we're working on, kind of on the back burner, but still on our radar, is the garage for the Jenny, showers for Site 500, and the camp beautification projects. And that's it for development. Any questions?
Gary, I'm willing to help you with finding other sites. Like there's that old seasonal site that's up above Woodpeckers. So I work with you on that.
Decisions or whatever it was. Okay. Yeah, I'll work with you on that, Millie. Thank you.
And Gary said Cloud9, but I think he meant to say Old Petticoat Junction. So
Petticoat Junction. Okay.
Yeah, Cloud9
Right.
still has occupants, so I don't want them to
Oh,
get
yes,
confused
okay.
and scary.
All right. Well, we'll just say abandoned semi-permanent sites wherever they may be.
Yeah, and we've also walked a couple of areas of the property that are marked as usable areas that we have yet to develop, and we may look at those too. And their developing doesn't require much clearing or anything like that. So it's another
Sure.
tidbit.
Can I see your hand?
Yeah, Gary, would it be possible with yourself and Mike, of course, working together to be able to produce a map for the board that could show us potential layouts of where these campsites would be so we can have a visual by chance?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that would be super helpful just for everyone here so we can, and obviously members at home who are watching via YouTube to sort of see what and where things are being looking at developed and how that's going. If, that's a can do.
There is a map out there that has approximate locations of each semi-permanent, but not definite boundary lines. So once we start looking at that, yes, we will drop a map that has some very well-defined boundary lines and mark them somehow so that we all know, either with stakes or other
Electric fence.
options. Huh?
Electric fences.
Electric fences. Yes.
I don't think we should
Yeah.
do that. But the stakes sound like a great idea.
Any
Does
other
anyone have any
questions?
more? Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Gary. Lots of good work going on
Josh
there
has
as well.
thumbs up.
I appreciate the update. Craig, our Vice President of Member Relations, what have you got going on?
Hang on one second, Josh. Before, I think you had your hand up, Josh. Oh, he's frozen now. Okay,
I do. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me?
we can hear
We can
you.
hear you. Just
Yeah.
My camera's being a little laggy. I just want to know about the rental trailer spots. I know that the note in there is to make them tent spots. Are we abandoning the trailer issue? Because right now I have everyone with reservations on hold. But I kind of need to have because a lot of people have the trailer reservations. I just kind of want to know what we want.
That's a very good question, Josh.
My
Um,
my last conversation with the members of that group that I talked to was to start looking into options to, bring us into a better position doing that, whatever those options were, whether it was a couple trailers or if it was a couple of small cabins or something that we could afford to do that wouldn't cost us a bunch of money, that put us in a little bit better position than those ones were in. So they're in the process of looking at all that. I mean, we can pick this up even quicker if you would like. I just haven't really received any instructions on it. So.
We'll start working on different options on that. The trailers were very popular. They were rented out a lot. It's something that we should really look into replacing somehow, I believe. But further discussion needs to be talked about, and we'll try to do it, Josh, as quick as we can so that you're able to get back to these people and let them know.
Yeah, it's just people who have reservations and then they have nowhere to go right now. So
Yeah.
Even if we find, if I can in those talks, if it doesn't come back, that's fine. I would love to open those up for RV reservations just because we can actually add more reservations to the system in those two spots.
All right.
If that's appropriate. Or giving them the ability to if we take some spot down below and even buy a tent, a nice tent and a nice bed and things like that, and maybe we can put them into those spaces, or something like that. Just do that. Something that can be involved in the talks as well. There's a lot of people that have nowhere to go right now and they just want to know what's happening, and I don't really have anything to tell them other than we're just looking at options, but this is in a month, so
We will talk about it in our next board meeting is earlier than a month, I believe, so we can talk about it and report back at the next board meeting on what we've discussed.
No, it's just
Lawrence?
if you guys want to involve me in the conversation, feel free to bring me in.
Yeah,
It's not like we make a lot of money. It's just we make there's just a lot of displaced people.
Well, yep, I agree. So we need to work on it. We can talk about that and figure that out.
Lawrence has his hand up.
Yep. Thanks, Billy. I can take care of that though during this meeting. Lawrence.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So today I did have a bit of a conversation with Gary. And my recommendation about those two sites is that we put them back to the temporary RV sites so that at least, we can get, I think that installing a couple of tents there are not going to give us the option. Like, people are not going to, on a regular basis, I would think, be renting those two spots for tents, as opposed to, getting back those two RV spots so that they can go into reservations. I think, Josh, that you hopefully you would agree with me that would probably be the best option.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about adding a tent down below somewhere, not in those spots necessarily, just adding a tent spot down below where we could put a reservation, like 3 or somewhere like that.
Okay, so anyway, my suggestion was that we turn those back into rentable RV spots.
Okay, so no, and we still do need to find out about, obviously, about the other RV, whether it's a complete write-off or not. But I'm guessing we'll get that information at our next board meeting, so we can go into it more then too. But I think all options are kind of on the table now, right now, for that particular spot. Considering, thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate the fill-in. All right, any other questions? Oh, excellent. All right. Thank you. I'm starting to lose my own spot. Craig, did you have any other updates or anything? Sorry, I can't remember. I know I brought you up.
Well, I assume, do we have a report from Charlie, or are we,
Charlie has no report. So Charlie wanted to let the board know that nothing's changed since our last board meeting. As far from marketing side of things, his last report was thorough. He will be at the next board meeting. I'm guessing with another report then too, as the season moves forwards.
okay. Great. Just one point of order. AJ's joined us on the meeting today, so we'll put a record on it, put a notation that his arrival.
Welcome,
go ahead.
AJ.
I see him pop up there. Yes, the member relations committee has a much smaller report. The two subcommittees I have is rules and the care committee, and Millie will be giving the care committee update because that's he's the chair. On rules, we have one outstanding case from 2025, and I'll pause at this moment to indicate to the board that as cases go through the rules committee processes, there is, as I said before, there is an investigation subcommittee, and then there's an adjudication subcommittee. And when things are at the investigation subcommittee, they're basically at what I'll call a phase one or a step one. And when the investigation committee is finished with the matter, it goes to the adjudication group, assuming that it meets the basic test of worth being investigated. So we have one 2025 matter that is outstanding. It's at phase one, it's stuck. At this point, we know that the member who is at the center of this has indicated their willingness not to come back to camp again. And so we don't really have a process for that. So what we're going to do is the two chairs of the two subcommittees are going to meet with me, and we're going to decide what to do when we have a person who's at the center of contention indicating they're never going to come back to camp. In other words, does it make it a moot process, or should we actually just simply follow through with the process? That's where we're at. We have a new case from 2026 that's finished phase one, going to phase two. That person was a no response on the to phase one. In other words, they didn't respond to the notice that they received on the phase one. So there's an administrative matter that was handled alongside of this. So consequently, other things are happening with respect to the complaint that was against them, and the issue of their own personal culpability for the rule violation is now with phase two with the adjudication unit. They're just going to get it now, and we expect that they'll be able to address the issue by the next board meeting. That's it from the rules side of things. Millie, actually, if there's any questions on that part, I'll take that. Nope. Okay, then Millie, if you want to give an overview on your activities for since you became committee chair.
But I think most people are up to date about most things because we've talked about Dean and everybody, but we have had a recent member who's father passed away, so we reached out to him and let him know that his TRC family is here for him. So that's kind of how I'm approaching things when they happen in this matter, to say that we're there, we're thinking about them. If there's anything we can do, let us know. But that's the most recent event.
Any questions for Millie? I give the chair back. It's Stuart. It's all yours.
Thank you, Craig. Up next, we have Josh, our illustrious treasurer. Josh.
Yeah, you guys have the reports. If there's any questions, please let me know. Again, we have some big purchases coming up here soon with insurance and things of that nature. So if you are planning on making any big purchases, let me know. I'm going to start sending power invoices out this week to all the seasonal vendors for the power subscriptions. And as everyone knows, dues are due May 1st. So as soon as you can get everyone's dues, like all the seasonals, anybody like that nature, the sooner we get them, the better. So we can have that money to pay start of the season bills and insurance and all that kind of fun stuff.
Okay.
But if you have
any questions?
feel free.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Gail, Secretary, what have you got for us today?
Okay, so the first draft for the revision of the Camper's Guide for review went out to 10 select members for review. We received back 4 already. I did give them a deadline at the end of this month, so I will have to send out a friendly reminder to please send their summary back. Once I receive the summary back, I'll put sort of common themes together and then hopefully have it for our April 25th meeting to look at.
Excellent.
And that's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Gail. Any questions for Gail?
Just one. The context of when you say Camper's Guide review, I trust you're not talking about the bylaws portion of the Camper's Guide.
Correct. I made that pretty clear that we were not touching the bylaws. It was just the basic Camper's Guide. And I sent them a copy of the current one and then a copy of the revision that we had put together for them to compare.
Okay. And am I right in understanding this is mostly about organizational structure of the Camper's Guide, not so much the substance of policy and procedure and all that jazz?
Yes, we're looking at the structure. We were trying to find there's some inconsistencies in it. So to pick those out and look at those. There was some feedback about there's certain rules in the Camper's Guide, but there's no consequences listed, stuff like that. But basically, they're looking at the whole structure.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Gail. All right. Before we move on to members at large, just quickly, first thing I wanted to, sorry, I should have addressed this earlier. My apologies. I would like everyone to review their budgets over the next month or two. We will be running on a tighter budget this year just due to the outgoing costs for the bridge and everything else going on right now. Also, uncertain times, so we don't know what fuel costs are going to happen, geopolitical things are going to happen. That could affect the campground. So I think at the moment it's best for us to be frugal where we can be and make sure that we tighten our belts where possible. So please do take the time, go through your budgets, have a look, try to stick to essentials as we can to keep the campground up and going. And then the other thing too, so as a general heads up to the members of the board, the executive committee is meeting next month. We're starting the process, which will come to the board as well, of doing a review of our bylaws. This has been brought up by many members that I think it's time that the bylaws have been around for quite a time and they haven't been updated. It is a very lengthy process to do this, but we're at the stage where we need to do it. to modernize ourselves. So our first meeting is just a discussion meeting to talk about this with the executive committee. Then we'll be breaking out and doing a full board committee meeting, should I say. This is all committee based, to then further discuss and then see what updates and what changes we might need to make to the bylaws to get us to that stage. I don't want to go into deep conversation about it right now, just because it is one of those subjects that we could talk on about for many hours. My hope here is by having these committee meetings first, we can organize ourselves into areas of discussion for this and then break it out from there to be a little more efficient. More information will be coming on that as time comes along, but please keep an ear out for it. This is an extremely important thing for the campground in general and for our membership. And if we do decide to move forwards with a bylaw change at our AGM, I would like to make sure that not just board members, but all of our members in general are aware of changes that could potentially be coming on to be voted on. With that being said, I would like to now move on to, oh, sorry, Craig.
Just one quick point. There should be actually, I was looking for this. It's an agenda item, is the passing of the minutes from the March 10th board meeting. And the other thing was, I think there needs to be some corrections to the earlier version that was circulated.
So when we get to new business, I will add it in there
Okay.
for this session. But yes, there is two that I would like. One is, as you just said, and then the other I would like to put through make an amendment to some previous minutes for adoption of the budget as well, which was missing from some of the minutes as was discussed. Sorry. With that being said, I don't want to hold up too much longer. Millie, Michael, Millie, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Millie has a motion that he would like to put forward on the table at this time. Millie, if you would like to explain the motion that you would like to put forward, and then we can go from there.
So I sent to Gail, but basically, instead of a motion to implement the 5-hour minimum requirement for seasonal and conditional members, I am proposing that we, for this year to implement going next year, that we actually implement it next year, and that we would implement the 5-hour minimum next year, and that it would be based on the requirements that we implement a new volunteer management system that would keep track of all the hours and have all the events, and would send regular reports to members, letting them know how many hours they have volunteered. And we can also use it as a way to recognize members, so we could have volunteers in that same monthly report. This would go to people individually. It wouldn't lay like a full report saying, so-and-so did this many hours. It'd just be, this is how many hours you volunteered, but these are our top 10 volunteers and how many hours they volunteered. That way we're kind of doing both recognition and trying to encourage people and letting people know. And then in addition to that would be that we have reviewed and updated the camper's guide as necessary, and reviewed the bylaws to determine if there are changes needed. Because based on what I've seen, I don't think we have to we need to update the camper's guide to clearly state that the seasonal is a program, and that when you're in seasonal, you're a participant of that, and that when based on that participation, there's additional requirements. I don't think we need to change our membership classes, because I think that kind of actually limits us. If we start to put in the bylaws specific membership classes and what the requirements of those are, then we would have to change the bylaws versus changing the camper's guide, which puts us in a whole nother, as we're talking about the AGM requirements. So my motion is that we will implement the 5-hour minimum in the 2027 year that will become active in 2028 based on their minimum requirements, and that exceptions can be provided by the VP of Member Relations, and that it would be based on completion of those 3 tasks that I just mentioned. Creation of the volunteer member management system, which I'm already in the process of doing, Stuart also says he has somebody that's interested in two, so we can work together on that. But and then getting that incorporated, and I want to get it incorporated this year so people already get use of the system, and then updates of the camper's guide, and then update of the bylaws as needed. The reason I want to make this motion and get it passed now is because it says that the board has agreed that this is something that's important and necessary, and that we're not going to spend a lot of effort into doing something that is not going to pass later.
Okay, do I have any seconders to this motion? If I do, please raise your right hand. 2. All right. Those opposed?
Well, that's the question
What?
was the second. We haven't got the floor.
Yeah,
open.
that's not a vote.
Yeah, sorry. God, my brain is also apparently turning
No
Swiss
worries.
cheese, which is obvious. My apologies, Millie. Sorry, who raised their hand first? I think it was Derek. Or it was either Derek or Danny. So let's go with Danny. Danny seconds the motion. With the motion being second, we'll go now to discussion. Is there any discussion that we would like to have on this, Craig?
Yes. Millie, I understand the merits of what you're doing, but I'm actually going to speak to oppose the motion. And it's not on the grounds of any of the technical issues that you'd mentioned that Mike had raised. The problem is, and you're probably not aware of this, and it's understandable, but as a condition of being inside the United States for Canadians, one of the rules is that you cannot work or receive anything in remuneration of any value when inside the United States. It would be, as I read it now, if it is for seasonals, for Canadians who have on a seasonal site, they would not be able to participate in this program. You would have to excuse all Canadians from that, or maybe more precise, anybody who's not a U.S. resident would probably be required to be excused. But I'll only speak to the Canadians who are there who don't hold U.S. citizenship. Is that I have been questioned at the border, saying, "What are you doing at the campground? What are you getting paid? Are you getting anything in exchange? Is there anything of any kind of benefit that I am receiving?" I got questioned on that actually just 2 trips ago on that, and once at YVR Vancouver Airport with U.S. Immigration, wanting to know what exactly the campground was giving me in exchange for going down there. And so I did a little bit of research work on this, and I'll just let you know that there's a very strict, almost every country, by the way, has this. I'm a visitor for the to the U.S. I'm a Canadian, and the Canadians who go down are in similar shape. So I would say that we would not want to put ourselves at risk of violating U.S. law, which of course, if we violate U.S. law, we're violating TRC policy. And then the last part is, I think even if you granted an exception to all Canadians, then we're left with having to explain to the rest of the seasonals who say, we don't have to do any volunteer work because we're Canadians. And I think that's going to cause a ripple effect as well. So, Millie, I absolutely sympathize with what you're attempting to, the goal. But I think for these particular reasons, if the immigration folks at the border ever look to see what the policy says about this, they would see it clearly as a condition of continued participation in the seasonal program, for which I would be. And therein lied a whole problem, a host of problems for me and the other Canadians who come down.
But you're already a member of the seasonal participation, and you already have other requirements that are expected for that.
I think
You have to be at your site
idea
a
is the
certain
volunteer labor is not part of that.
When you tell somebody they have to do something, the word volunteer goes away. That is not volunteering. It's mandated labor. And this is a legal concept he's talking about. My suggestion, because I'm not going to rehash what we've already rehashed, what we've already gone through. My suggestion is we engage the lawyer because I think that he brings up a legal question from his standpoint as a member of how this may affect him, and he believes in that. I believe there's legal questions on how it pertains to our membership levels and the bylaws and how we treat our members. And so I think, honestly, it's not that I don't support this, or the idea of this and engaging members to volunteer. I just think that we're going out into the weeds of legalities here now, and we're putting us in a position of liability. So
Completely agree with we should ask the lawyer. I mean, like that
Okay.
will.
Mhm.
Hang
Especially
on,
with
hang on,
regards to
everyone.
501c7.
Just one at a time. Thank you, please. Lawrence, you had your hand up next.
I've been a victim of this very thing. We had Frank and Russ who were on our site, and Frank and I were given some kitchen cupboards, and we loaded his vehicle up and got down to the border. And because Frank was driving, they asked what we were doing, and he said, "We're bringing some cabinets down to our site." And he said, and the guy said, "Well, what are you going to do with them once you're there?" And he said, "Well, we're going to put them up." Right then and there, it was called, "Oh, no, you're not." So you just take your little asses, turn around and go back and because we told him we had American Catmates who would do the work. He said, "Well, then you get your American Catmates to come up, load those cabinets, and they can say that they're going to be putting them up." So there is much truth to what Craig is talking about.
Excellent. Thank you, Lawrence. Brandon?
Also, to check on the 501c7 status and whether or not having people being semi-de facto employees affects the tax exempt status, which could be a bad thing. And
Okay.
the 5 hours seems arbitrary. I'm willing to say that we consider it in the future as some sort of commitment to volunteering, but 5 hours seems a bit arbitrary to me. It just that we will look at it in the future, especially. I like the idea of the tracking system, that's fine, but the minimum requirement of 5 hours, I'm really not in favor of very much so much.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Just one comment again. I would say
All right.
I fully get what Millie is attempting to do, is to get more volunteers, encourage that, be part of it. And of course, the people who work in seasonals ought to be encouraged to do that as well. That's kind of been a thing. But I think the moment you kind of make it a condition, it runs into all these other little wrinkle problems. But Millie, I understand where you're coming from, 100%.
So before I call the vote for this, I'm going to throw just my own comment here. Once again, Millie, I understand where you're going with this as well. Getting involvement, getting people to, put their own blood, sweat and tears, and it will help build community as well for the campground. There is multiple benefits to this. But we do have to be careful on the legal side of things. For this particular... Sorry, Craig?
Move to table.
I was actually going to move to vote because we have reviews coming up on, as we've discussed, there is reviews on the Green Book, there is reviews coming up on the bylaws. This is something that we can tackle as part of that. This particular vote is a vote on whether we implement this. There is no tabling this, I do not believe, currently at this point in time until we have legal advice, which might take some time.
I'm going to withdraw the motion so that we can get legal. I don't want to do anything illegal.
No.
I mean, I have looked into the things that Mike said, and based on the membership and stuff like that, and the information I found has not, but I would like to get legal. I would like to get legal input on this because I don't want to do anything that puts TRC at risk.
Okay. Millie, might I suggest next board meeting, which we'll discuss soon, maybe we can put a motion forwards for a budget to look into the legality of this, and then move forwards from there.
Well, why don't we just do it now? I move how much would it cost?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know. We have to speak to the lawyer,
Okay.
ask them how much it's going to cost, then we get it approved, then we bring it to the board, then the board approves the cost, then we can go forward. So we're good. That's why I wanted the break. You've only got about 2 weeks, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Okay.
I'm not trying to put this off. I'm just trying to make sure that we get it going the way you want. Well, with that being said, the motion has been removed from the floor, so that sort of cancels that one out for right now. Let me just swap back over. All right. So with the rest of the members here at the moment, there has been no prior announcements put through, but I will open the floor to any of the other board members currently joining us today if they would like to bring anything up for this particular meeting. Brandon.
Just quick fire thing. I haven't ordered yet, but I'm going to be hopefully within the next week or so ordering the fire blankets and or piss packs with the budget that I believe I appropriated beforehand, so that I can get them up there because I don't have a place to store them here, so I haven't ordered them yet. So hopefully I'll be getting up there sometime soon, and I'll bringing those up. That's all.
Excellent, thank you, Brendan. And just for those wondering, Piss Pack is basically, it's a wearable backpack that has water that you pump and will shoot water out to put a fire out. For those who are curious on what that acronym is for.
We could also fill them with vodka for parties and squirt them into people's mouths.
Oh no. I'm not condoning that on a board meeting. Thank you very much.
One last thing. You've
Right.
Stuart, you've got $3,000 in your legal budget, so you might have some.
Correct.
You might be able to move a little faster with Millie's issue.
True, but don't forget that budget includes paying for our current works with checking in with our contractor, which is an undefined amount at this point in time.
Very good points. All good points.
All right. Any other members at large would like to make any comments? Excellent. Thank you, everyone. So from here, there is no old business currently. Actually, this can fall under old business, I think. Craig, correct me, please, if I'm wrong. But so we did notice that there was some problems with our AI transcription in 2 board meetings ago, I believe it was, and we don't have an official record of the budget being accepted by the board. So I would like to, as part of this old/new business, I guess, I would like to make an official amendment to those minutes for that board meeting that includes that the board did approve the budget for this year. So with that being said, Craig, would you mind standing in to, since I'm calling this one for a motion to go forwards, would you mind standing in to do the vote?
So moved.
So moved.
No, sure. Thanks. Thanks, Millie. I know I can do it, but all right. In that case, I'm going to abstain, obviously.
Yeah, Millie moves your motion.
Millie moves. I will call for the vote. I'm going to abstain. Those in favor, please raise your right hand.
We need a second.
I second.
I seconded.
Okay.
All right. Please raise your right hand. We need to get official numbers for this. I'm abstaining. It is unanimous with me abstaining. Excellent. The motion carries. Thank you all. Oh, damn it. Craig, what was the other one? Sorry, you brought it up, and now I'm calling a blank for new business.
Adopting the minutes from last month, but
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that kind of covered that.
adopting the minutes. Now you've got the amendment.
Yes.
So I move that we adopt the minutes from March 10th, 2026.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mike. Those in favor, raise your right hand. Millie is there. There we go. It's unanimous. Motion passes. All right. Now, before we adjourn the meeting today, I would like to book in our next board meeting. As everyone's probably aware, this meeting was a catch-up due to being unable to hold it at the time we previously want. I am suggesting that we do our next board meeting at our standard interval on the second Tuesday of the month, which would be
April 14th.
14th.
April 14th.
Yep. April 14th at 7 p.m. Those in favor.
So I moved.
Sorry, that was a little loud.
Somebody's got some background.
Millie? There we go. Craig?
Move that would the next board meeting be held at April 14th at 7 p.m. on Zoom.
Excellent. Gary, do you second? Yep. All right. Those in favor, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Motion passes. It does pass, but those abstaining, sorry, just for official numbers. Excellent. Derek's abstaining, and those
I
opposed.
move we adjourn.
Would someone like to second? Milliseconds. All right. Thank you, everyone. This ends the meeting for Triangle Recreational Campground for the 31st of the 3rd, 2026. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic evening, and I look forward to speaking to you all again very soon. Ciao for now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.